Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fourth Down Fiasco, your go-to podcast for all things football. You know who it is. It's your favorite boys at the FDF. Welcome to Season 3. Very excited to have y'all with me. As always is Danny Weber, Tanner Vinsky. Gentlemen.
We're here.
Hi. Hi.
I tried to be, a little extra energetic for the start of Season 3, which was technically last week. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but we have whole new branding, and it looks wonderful. Danny did a great job. Probably by the time you're listening to this, awards will be up, and Danny did a phenomenal job, especially on those. So,
but no, I'm excited. New season, football, new league already started. Another new league starting this week. We're just back.
Yeah. Don't you just love whenever family or friends ask you, hey, how's the ELF doing? And then you either have to decide to tell them what's really going on, which takes forever, or you just say, oh, it's going great.
I've started saying there's been a divorce, so now there's two leagues. And they're like, oh, okay. That's kind
I
of
don't clarify. I just say, yeah, no, things are still going well.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Still playing.
There's still football going on, so It's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
And I hope that by us not even acknowledging that there's a divorce, it's kind of like when you're a kid and you don't acknowledge that your parents got divorced, that eventually they'll just go back together. And I'm hoping that I won't get disappointed a second time,
Maybe they'll get remarried. Who knows? That's what we're all
I wasn't ready for that. I was mid-sip, brother. You got to warn me. But yes, start of Season 3. Very excited. Today is the good rundown that we normally do, where we talk about the previous week, we go through awards, we do pick'ems. We're back to our usual programming here, ladies and gentlemen.
We EFA started with a bang. Friday night lights into Saturday into Sunday. Weekend full of games. We just want to hop into game one.
I mean, I feel like, should we keep game one for last because it was the best game of the three for sure?
That's fine. I don't care what we do. We're just
biggest belt to ass was Munich Ravens, Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
No, it wasn't. I think that this might be the worst, at least, rendition that we've seen recently of Raiders Tirol. I don't like this team.
No, their defense is bad. But I mean, if you take away the third quarter, it's a little less embarrassing. But
I'm just embarrassed in honestly, I'm really embarrassed for Tirol, obviously, but I'm more embarrassed of myself because I really hyped the game up because the last matchups we had, I was like, this is the best game of the weekend, the best one we got. I was really hyped to watch it. And then the opening kickoff, Munich scores a touchdown, and it's just over from there, pretty much. There was a point where it was 21-14 when Munich had the ball. We were like, okay, well, maybe if they make a stop here, things will get better. Then it became 28-21. Or I think they went for 2 points at some point. I forget when that happened. But, I mean, the Raiders' defense literally could not stop anything the Munich offense was doing. I mean, they didn't even really try too hard, it looked like. They just got chunk yardage on every play, and a lot of their touchdowns were relatively long touchdowns too. There would just be a defensive meltdown. There would just be a meltdown in the secondary, and somebody would be wide open, and somebody would just get burnt. And it's like, well, yeah, you're not going to win a game like that. And honestly, the Raiders' offense looked pretty okay. Yeah, obviously, a lot of their points came in garbage time, but
Steven looked good.
Pretty solid.
Steven Krajewski looked pretty good. A lot better than I think all of us expected.
Yeah.
His first touchdown, beautiful.
He appeared to really handle pressure well in terms of, all the blitzes and stuff. Did a good job moving in the pocket, using his legs. He looked good. Bright spot. It felt very much so. I felt like I was watching the Cowboys a little bit with the offense looked good. They can put out a competitive offense for sure. But it truly was every time Munich touched the ball, they scored.
No, it literally was. They never their offense never didn't score. Like
And
they
so it
scored
was
on
just
every
like-
single possession.
Yeah, and so I felt bad for the offense because they put up points. They did. Like this should have been a competitive matchup with the offense that they fielded out there. But yeah,
You put up 30
they
points,
score.
it should be close.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, Steven, I really like it's such a weird thing to look at because we only got 1 year of Aaron Jackson, and Steven we know nothing about. But the combination of Steven and Aaron Jackson, I think, will be really good throughout the rest of the year because Jackson already leads the league in receiving at 147. He has 2 touchdowns. Krajewski's sitting there at 331 yards, only behind Jadrian Clark, who he played Prague. So
Yeah.
it's like the two of them together, they look scary. And
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that relationship will develop.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Jackson has that elusive quality about him that I think, especially when you pair it with, Krajewski was a lot lighter on his feet than I was expecting. I was not expecting some of the plays that he made, coming out of the pocket and stuff. I don't know. I didn't see a ton of tape going into this, so I just didn't know a ton about him. And I'll be honest about it. But yeah, I think,
there wasn't tape to watch.
Yeah.
There wasn't. I mean, I tried to watch tape on him. The most I got out of him was he was playing in a blowout game against Rutgers and got benched. And then there was another game that he played against, I think it was Navy, where they got blown out and he got benched. Mm-hmm. So it's like, there wasn't much to go off of going into the season. Like, at least from like publicly accessible, obviously the scouts in Europe and what they're looking at, they're going to know a little bit more and they're going to have more access to his tape and whatever, highlight reel his family or friends have put together for him, obviously. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, from expectation wise, he did great in his first start. I mean, obviously you got to go with the grain of salt of like 2 of his touchdowns came in the fourth quarter when Munich was up 55-17. Yeah. But again, it's extra points to his stat line. I mean, he had, I can't remember specifically, but I think he might have had the most passing yards in the league this year, in the league in week 1.
Second, Clark had 390.
Okay. But he had he had like 360 or something, or
331.
331, which is for a rookie game, 331. That's
against the Munich defense.
Yeah.
What? And now that we say that, the Munich defense, how'd they give up 30? The defense is supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shock to me.
But again, I think a lot of that comes to they were up 55-17 in the fourth quarter, right?
Sure.
Like,
yeah,
I think a lot of the pressure probably just got taken off the defense, where they were at a point where it's halfway through the fourth quarter, you're up 55-17. You really can't lose the game at that point. So even if you give up 4 touchdowns, you're still winning,
Yeah. No, that's fair. Makes sense. But Munich's offense, I think, is as good as we all expected.
As good? Man, they look great.
They look really good.
I feel like we did see some rust with some different groups over the course of this weekend and stuff, but not with that Munich offense. There was not any rust. They just came out the gate just hauling ass, bro. It was crazy.
I think it's a little bit of a cheat code to have Seelig and Rodney in your backfield with Tabor, but that could just be me. It's like I feel like it's playing like the 2004 Atlanta Falcons on Madden 04. Yeah. It's like you just run Michael Vick. It's kind of hard to lose.
Well, and I think we're seeing that like continuity does matter, the fact that like it's not a brand new quarterback having to come in and learn a system. It's like, no, Tabor has been around. He knows what's going on. He knows coach, like he knows the game plan. He knows his guys, there is the addition of Seelig, but
I mean, they didn't even use Seelig that game.
Yeah.
I mean, Seelig had 2 attempts for 4 yards, like,
and he had some in the pass game.
He had some in the passing game, but like they didn't have to use him as a rusher.
But he had 61 yards receiving.
Which obviously adds a lot, but that's just how potent their rushing offense is that you have a weapon like Seelig in the backfield, you don't even have to use him.
Yep. Which is wild.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But the one thing, my last kind of takeaway besides Munich looks really scary and probably is obviously still one of the top teams in the league. I think we were all texting about it. Raiders, what are you doing with your play calling on offense? It was like the second quarter, and we were talking about how it's like, oh, run, pass, run, pass. Run, pass. It's like, come on, guys.
And
especially when you're down.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah. And it was specifically they would like hitch the outside for the first run. Then they'd go up the gut for the second because they were like, fuck, we just need some yards back. And then it would be like an 8-yard throw.
It was kind of
working. It worked for a little while.
It wasn't bad, but it's like, why are you setting yourself up for 2nd and 12?
Well, and they were always just losing the tempo race.
Yeah.
Because the thing is Munich was scoring really quickly. They were having really explosive plays. When you run past the entire game, especially while you're down, you lose the time. Well, you're not losing the time of possession battle. You're actually winning it because you get so much time on the fucking field.
Yeah.
But you're losing the tempo battle where it's like, okay, you're on the field for a lot longer than Munich is, and your drives are stalling out a lot shorter. That's demoralizing, not only to the offense, but to the defense who just got torched, and they're having to sit there and look at the offense going and like, shit, like these guys aren't breaking apart the defense. We're going to have to go back out there and try to make a play. And then they couldn't go make a play, obviously. So,
yeah.
It was just, I mean, just in general, it's just a demoralizing game for the Raiders to roll. We all kind of went in thinking they were going to be the worst team in the EFA. It's proving to be true. I thought with the rivalry, it would be a little bit closer. But I think they're going to have a really hard time in this league.
Yeah. And the unfortunate part is it is because of the divorce that we don't like to mention, because they were always one of the more middle of the pack teams, and we literally just kind of cut the deck at the middle, and now they're at the end because of that. So it's hard to see because there are some names on that Raiders team that I'd love to watch, especially on that offense.
I mean, their offense is solid. Like they should be able to at least keep them close. But when you say cut the deck in the half, it's kind of like what we were talking about in the beginning when the whole EFA thing started. It's like Berlin was our worst team at 4-10 or 4-8 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
it's like, and then the whole thing happened, and now Prague is our Berlin.
Yeah, because I mean, there's definitely. I don't think that this is going to be a situation where Raiders Tirol is winless at the end of the season. Like they're gonna catch some dubs, and they're gonna upset a team or two because of that offense and how good like it can potentially be that they just outpace a Frankfurt or something like that.
Yeah,
which is really what I didn't think the strength of this team. Not gonna lie, really didn't think that their offense would be the thing keeping them in games, but I guess that's where we are,
Apparently. But no, I'm really excited to see them play against not a top 2 team. I want to see them against Prague. I want to see them against Frankfurt and Paris, especially before Paris starts clicking, because I think Paris, once they kind of figure it out, they might be scary as well.
Sure, yeah. We can get into that in a little bit. Final question for y'all on the Munich game. Does anything about this performance change who they are to y'all? I believe for both of you, the number 2 team in the league.
No,
that doesn't move the needle either which direction for y'all. This is exactly what you expected.
Not this final score, but performance-wise, yes.
I think the only thing from Munich I'm moved on is I do think Tabor, because Tabor was always dynamic. I think he's definitely, again, it's only week 1, but I do think there is a step in development that we can just see from this first week. Yeah. And I do think he's going to be a lot scarier as a rushing threat than he was last year. Just with the way he was able to move out of structure and the way he was able to make plays with his legs that game. I mean, he had multiple 30, 40 plus yard runs to the end zone. Like, that's going to be really hard for teams to plan around. So
if he can hold on to the ball, he's going to be very scary.
Exactly. So that makes me a little bit more optimistic about Munich. When we actually did the pick'ems, I actually picked Munich to win the EFA, win the league. So even though I got Nordic as my number 1 team, I'm kind of sitting there thinking Nordic's kind of the team to beat. But I see as the year goes on, Munich has a lot of young players. I just think those guys are going to get into rhythm, and I think they're going to be really scary by the time we get to the end of the season.
I mean, there is a certain swagger with Munich that I saw that was very different from the rest of the teams this weekend. Just like, bro, I know we talked about it in the group chat, that the shopping cart, like, you know, I got all these options to choose from. That shit was crazy.
That touchdown celebration by Tabor, I don't even think it was his touchdown. I think he was.
Yeah, no, I mean, he threw it, but
no, well, yeah, but it's like he's just sitting there, he's like, all right, I'm gonna pick you, I'm gonna pick you, you.
And that's what it felt like all game, was just like, yep, you know, we just saw so many different people score over the course of the game, and just looked so just effortless.
Well, and the issue was Munich was scoring on every DB that they had. Because when we were sitting there, and we'll get into Mr. Fiasco later, but when I was sitting there, I was thinking that they would probably come from the Tirol game. But we don't want to give it to their entire secondary. But in reality, I mean, their entire secondary was complete ass. Like, they just got destroyed the entire game. Like, you would see multiple guys on there, and it's like, yep, you just got burnt. You got burnt. You got burnt. And it was like four of their, like, it was their four main DBs. All of them gave up like a massive touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But talking about shopping cart, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different people had targets on their offense.
That's awesome. That's good ethical football right there.
So it's a mark of a good quarterback too. I mean, just being able to give the ball to all your guys.
Stanley was the most with 6, and Seelig was second with 4.
Makes sense.
And I mean, what is that? Geyer had a tutty. Yeah, Stanley had a tutty. Roosh had a tutty.
And Okongwu.
Oh yeah, Okongwu had a tutty. Like, 4 different guys scored the ball as well. You know, like that's a happy locker room. That is a very happy locker room.
And then he said, "You guys got 4 from me. I'm going to go get 2 myself."
Yeah,
sure.
But so Munich scary, Tirol.
Yeah, Munich scary. Tirol, confusing. A lot of questions.
Confusing.
Yeah. Another team that has a lot of soul searching to do after week 1, the Prague Lions, who fall to the Nordic Storm 47-13. And I mean, I'll be honest, you know, in my time zone, it was just really hard for me to wake up early enough for that game. So I was like, okay, I'll catch it at the half, because I normally wake up at like 7-ish on Saturdays, 7:30. It was halftime, and it was belt to ass, and so I went back to sleep, y'all.
You didn't want to wake up for the what? It was like 28-7 at half or something. You didn't want to watch the rest of that game, really?
No,
come on, you never know what happens.
Well, luckily you made the right call, because 28-7 was actually really good for what happened to Prague in the second half, because it ended up being 47-13. So, I mean, I think we all kind of expected this game, though. I think we all said Prague is probably the worst team. It's either them or Tirol. And Nordic is probably the best team. It's either them or Munich. And what did we see in week 1? We saw the 2 worst teams go against the 2 best teams in the league. And the results matched how they should have been. Yeah. This was a game, unfortunately, where you just look at it, you can't really take away anything. I mean,
yeah,
we knew Nordic was going to be this good. We knew Prague was probably going to struggle this heavily. Does this move the needle for Nordic at all? Probably not, right? Nordic is the team we thought they were. And for Prague, I mean, does it make you more pessimistic? Probably not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big thing with Nordic, Tunga looks like Tunga.
Yeah.
I know we talked about a little bit last week, Tanner, of what to expect, and they just let him go, and it worked. 109 for 2 touchdowns or something like that.
105 for 2 touchdowns.
105 for 2 touchdowns.
And only 18 attempts. It's kind of crazy.
On 5.8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Oof.
Dog.
And then talking about sharing the love in the locker room, Clark had 10 receivers with targets, and 9 of them had receptions to Tabor's 6.
No.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I'm looking at this. Yeah, Bo had 131.
Bo looked scary.
Dude, yeah.
And
Edvin had, what was that?
I was going to say Edvin also looks just as scary.
Yeah, at 114, showed a little love to Tunga in the past game. Green got a couple touches. Fawns, I didn't even realize that. Oh, yeah, Fawns is with them, huh?
Yeah. But he pulled up early in the game with a hamstring. Hopefully he's okay. Because he's the speedster. So, I mean, obviously in sports, your hamstring is important if you're really fast.
Yeah, don't I know it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, they look great. They look exactly who we figured they would be this year.
And their defense looks scary, as we kind of expected.
Yeah, well, I mean, and they're healthy, it wasn't that they had a bad defense last year. They just, half of them just hurt,
But yeah, Glennon came back, 8 tackles.
Yeah.
For Hendall, 7 tackles. Myron, 3 tackles. Mitch Fettig with his new team, a pick and a TFL.
Best jawline in the league.
Dude, Fettig looks good in the blue and blue. I'm just saying.
The blue and blue.
Blue and blue.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean,
I don't know. It's kind of similar, like, when you look at the Nordic defense, just, like, how many pieces they have. It's kind of, like, you kind of just have to think as, like, an opposing offensive coordinator, like, how do you really even target defense? Like, what do you really do with the level of talent you got? It doesn't seem like you can do much. It's kind of like what you have to think of, like, other teams in the NBA have to do whenever they see fucking Wembanyama step on the court. It's like, all right,
yeah,
what do you do? I mean, it's, you kind of just have to hope that someone's going to mess up an assignment somewhere. Someone's, going to be playing sloppy. Like, I mean, that's really all you can hope for because they're just so complete, and they're probably the most complete defense in the league. So,
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I saw a certain tenacity from them that even whenever last year's roster was healthy, like they just have a little extra in there because this is a Prague team that should have a decent offense, and they looked terrible.
He looked terrible.
Every clip of film that I saw, because I didn't watch the full 3.5 hour game or whatever. I watched the condensed YouTube version. That was not good.
Yeah.
And I still have like respect for the Prague offense because I know that they can be something good, but I think that this Nordic defense is just that good. I'm with you, Tanner. Like, what weakness is there? How do you? I don't know. As an offensive coordinator, I feel like I would just be like, look, I'm either going to win or lose this game in the first 2 drives. I'm going to throw everything I have at them.
Get ahead.
Might as well.
Hopefully stay ahead.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, you got Willie P. I think if Prague, do they play each other again? I assume they all play each other twice.
Yeah, they all play each other twice. The announcer made sure we knew that 17 times over the course of the weekend.
Yeah. I may or may not have, we won't go too much into this, but I may or may not have been listening to a lot of these games on mute. Just to kind of hear know how well the announcers were doing this weekend.
Yeah.
The game we're about to talk about, those commentators, they I think they got the roster a couple hours beforehand.
Yeah. Also, when they said Terrence Newman, are we talking about Dallas Cowboy Terrence Newman? Because I was very confused. I heard the name and like perked up a little bit, but I couldn't tell. Probably not.
He might have just been talking about Terrence Newman.
No, one of the announcers' names was Terrence Newman.
Oh.
Yeah, in the Paris Frankfurt game.
Yeah, I listened to the commentary on that game. The other 2 games after that, I turned it off. Yeah, I don't even remember what point I was trying to make. What were we saying about Prague? Oh, the next time they play each other. The next time Prague and Nordic play each other. I just think what Prague needs to do is you just kind of say fuck it and chuck it up to Willie and see what happens. Yeah, I think that's probably your best bet is
design some trickery plays involving him, motion, pre-snap,
double coverage, triple coverage, just throw it to him anyways. I mean, like, your offense has no hope any other way. So just kind of hope that he's going to play superhuman football and carry you. I mean, shit, the Detroit Lions did that for Calvin Johnson. And then obviously there's a much different approach there between those two players, but
they went 0-16
did
with Calvin Johnson.
No. When they got Matt Stafford, when they actually had a QB who could throw, but when they had him,
But I mean, you have Zuzelka, you have Patterson, you have Henderson.
They have weapons.
You have
I'm just
three
saying against
players that are very good.
No, I'm just saying against Nordic, that wasn't fucking working. So next time, just play fucking football and just chuck it up as far as you can and hope for the best, right? Because really, looking at this game, I don't know what else Prague does in their next matchup. I don't think they have another out. Like, I think their best bet is just hope that Willie P goes for 600 yards and you win the game, like.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right. So then the closest game of the week.
The best game of the week.
Yep.
Best in how? It was very crappy football, but it was very.
I do love a good, ugly football game.
It was pretty crappy.
There was drama. That's what's important.
Yeah.
It was the most dramatic game.
I mean, these are my favorite types of games, though, where it is just kind of you're coming down to who makes the least amount of mistakes, really. Because Frankfurt, I mean, we got to start with Frankfurt, right?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you
Paris beat Frankfurt 21-20. That we didn't say the score yet. But yeah, Paris beat Frankfurt 21-20. Go ahead, Tanner.
But for Frankfurt, how the fuck do you lose this game?
Yeah.
Kick the damn ball.
No, not even that. You were up 21-7.
That too.
And you were up 21-7. And you just proceeded. Or, 27. My fault. Yeah, they lost 21-20. So, yeah. Yeah, you go up. And you just completely let Paris just dismantle your defense in the fourth quarter. Like, you had the lead. I think it was about halfway through the fourth quarter. You could have just drained the clock, played smart, not punt the ball away immediately. And you probably, as long as they would have gotten into field goal position at least once in the second half of the fourth quarter, they win this game. And guess what? They did. They did get there. And when they did get there, they decided we're going to QB sneak twice on the goal line. Not once, but twice.
Hey, that's only half the amount of times the Paris tried it. When they did it 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
But continue.
I mean, it was just brutal. I mean, if they would have kicked the field goal, Paris still had their timeouts, and there was like a minute 16 on the clock, and they did just give up a touchdown immediately to Frankfurt. I mean, so for Frankfurt, you kind of understand the coach's perspective a little bit of like, okay, last time the offense had the ball, they scored in 1 play. It was very short. They scored immediately, so you're like, okay, well, let's just get the touchdown, get the 2-point. We're probably good here, right? But the reality of it is, if it's 4th and goal, you're on the half-yard line, you already failed the first QB sneak, just take the points. There's a minute 16. Your defense was playing lights out through the first half. Like the first 3 quarters, Paris had 7 points. Trust your defense to make one more stop. That's all they got to do.
Yeah.
And the thing is a minute 16 and 2 timeouts really isn't a lot of time.
Especially with EFA kicking. Like, just.
Yeah, because you have to get real close to feel good about it.
Because there's a chance that when they do the kickoff, the same, regardless of what happens, the kickoff, it goes so short, like even if you score the touchdown, you could kick it off and fuck up the kickoff. And I know you got to do the same thing on a field goal, but it's like, you're not expecting like the benefit you have as an NFL team where you can score, kick it off, they do a touchback, they get it at the 25-yard line, right? You're not going to have that in the EFA. They're probably getting it at about the 40,
Yeah.
So
you could kick it out of the back of the end zone if you can.
But I don't think these kickers can.
there are only a couple touchbacks, but
it doesn't happen very often.
No, yeah.
But no, Frankfurt had no reason to lose this game. It was disgusting. They also, weirdly enough, they even had a terrible mistake where they fumble and then their offensive lineman literally looks at the ball pass by him and he doesn't pick it up.
I forgot about that play.
He doesn't even he literally the ball's there. He goes to grab it. He misses it on the ground. It's not moving. He just misses the scoop. And then Paris recovers. Luckily, it didn't matter. Actually, it might have been beneficial to them because Paris then throws a pick six right after the fumble six or whatever it was. Throw a pick six right after. So actually, it might have been beneficial for Frankfurt because they got points right away. And who knows if they would have gone down the field and scored on that drive. But the fact that you have that type of mistake in this game is ridiculous, you know?
Well, and then even begin the game, they were threeing out Paris drive after drive. It was 3rd and 18, and Edwards rolls out, about to get sacked. Dude grabs a face mask, resets the drive, and Paris scores on that drive.
Yep, and that's the difference.
Yeah, they gave them life.
Yeah,
but I sent a text after that game, a little bit after that game, but just kind of quick overview of it. We already mentioned the commentators were kind of bad. I'm glad we had dual commentators. That was nice.
Yes. That felt official, at least.
Yes. Why are the refs scared to make any type of call during a pileup? Anytime there's a bunch of people around the call, they're like, let's go to the replay booth. It's like, or just call it. It's like, we can all see it. However, that kind of, who knows if Garbers was in at the end? We'll never know. We couldn't see the ball.
Yeah.
The field was very slippery. People were slipping and sliding all over the place. Receivers couldn't catch for what felt like almost the entire game.
I was going to mention that. What is his name? Doso dropped for sure would have been a touchdown on a slant. There was either a 3rd or a 4th down for Paris at one point early in the game. That should piss me off.
Zach looked really rusty.
Yes. He turned it on in the final minutes. Once he realized he needed to go win the game, I think he kind of was like, oh shit, I need to go.
That first half was was not magic.
I mean, he hasn't played professional football in a year, so you know.
But I made a very hot take. I said, Garbers equals Tabor ?
I don't know if we're quite there yet, brethren.
I'm just saying. Call my shot.
I don't know if we're quite there.
Garber could move more than I thought he could. I didn't look at him in college.
Yes.
I
can give him that. Deceptively athletic.
He looked a little Tabor-ish.
No, Garber's always he was a pretty effective runner at UCLA. That was the reason he really never got drafted, was because he kind of had like the Johnny Manziel type play style. And this was obviously we're in a league where there's just a lot of dual rushing QBs, so it's not like the Johnny Manziel where it's like nobody knew how the hell to handle this, you know. Now people know how to handle a dual rush QB. But Garber's had that kind of same thing where he wasn't very effective as a passer at UCLA, but he was a very effective runner. And we see a lot of college QBs look like that nowadays. John Gruden actually had a great segment. I forget what it was. I don't know if he was on a podcast or something. I just remember hearing him talk about it, where he was talking about just like how we're going to have way less QBs translate from the college scene to the NFL than we used to in the past, just due to the amount of reliance on rushing that a lot of college QBs have these days. They're more reliant on rushing, and they're also more reliant on, like, they're not taught how to do like a snap count. They're not taught how to, you know, really make a lot of changes at the line. So, you know, when you have like prospects, like I think he was comparing it to like when Andrew Luck was coming out, where like Andrew Luck had like one of the best cadences, you know, was able to get people to jump offline all the time, was one of the best like pre-line stat movement guys in like coming out of college ever. Like he was just able to make so many different calls at the line, you know, just like kind of that game managing position at QB. Current college QBs just don't really do that as often, and they rely very heavily on their legs. So that's why you look at Garbers. Yeah, exactly. And you see Garbers right now, you know, more effective on just running the ball than he was passing. Because even though he had a decent game passing, you know, he still was 50%. It was 50% completion.
Yeah,
and
yards, 6 sacks.
Yeah, it took 6 sacks, only had 1 TD. I mean, not a terrible game, very good game from a rookie QB in this league. But honestly, looking at the weekend, do you think that Garbers had a more impressive rookie debut, or do you think that Krajewski had a more impressive rookie QB debut?
Krajewski.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
agreed.
So
especially because of what we kind of expected out of Garbers versus what we didn't expect out of Krajewski.
Exactly. So I think a lot of that comes into what we're going to see through the rest of the year is how much can Garbers develop as a passer, and is he going to have to consistently rely on his legs? Because the thing is even though Tabor is very explosive as a dual threat quarterback, he's effective as a dual threat quarterback because he's such a good passer, and we don't see that from Garbers yet. So the comparison's there, but we're way too early to see Garbers be anywhere close to the level that Tabor's at.
No, yeah. But I'm just saying he could be there.
I hope so. It'd be sweet.
Yeah.
In a game where, we saw kind of some offensive struggles from both teams in different portions of the game, something I did want to talk about was actually how great both defenses looked. Because it was an ugly game, but I think the big reason why was just how much both defenses were really getting after it. I mean, Paris, they had 6 sacks as a defense. They were getting all kinds of pressure on Garbers the whole game. We're just really mucking things up. Did a really good job on that end. And I mean, same thing goes for like Frankfurt as well. Also they had a pick 6, like their defense actually scored a touchdown. Like the defenses looked real good. Wild. What was that, Danny?
That pick 6 was wild.
Yeah.
Dude, that linebacker just sitting there, jumping and just swatting it to Bijan, or not Bijan, to Chambers. Oh, yeah. That was crazy. Beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, they got another one, another interception as well over the course of the game. So, I mean, yeah, both defenses looked really good in this game. And this is, one of those, we knew Paris was going to be good, and Frankfurt has, made some changes to also be very good. Also, they both just play each other really well for whatever reason. Like they just finding out that they had a perfect 500 record going into this game was like, oh, okay, cool. Like this means something,
One thing I didn't know, which I'm shocked that I didn't know because it was an obscure stat. Frankfurt has never won week 1, ever.
Really?
Yeah. They are undefeated in the loss column in week 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Streak continues.
Shouldn't. So, yeah, it shouldn't have continued. That's all I'm going to say. Like they really should have won this game, but
yeah,
they didn't.
2 goal line stands though, that'll do it to you.
Yeah,
100%. No, I mean, both these defenses are awesome. I think they're going to be really good through the year. I think Frankfurt's obviously going to improve, and hopefully they start making some better decisions quickly, or they're going to fall very far behind in this league, and we're going to see them miss the playoffs again.
Yeah.
But Paris is awesome. Paris is such a good defense. They're so scared. Like, they're such a scary defense. And I think as Zach Edwards gets more comfortable playing football again, we should be able to see this team make some big upsets against, Munich and Nordic. Now, am I going to pick them when those matchups come? Probably not. But I think that they could upset those teams if we see Edwards look like the old Edwards.
Yeah, and also if their receivers could catch the damn ball / not make really stupid penalties on touchdowns, like there was just a lot of really dumb mistakes. Like Paris tried so hard to lose this game. If we're being honest about it.
They wanted to lose.
They were trying so hard to lose. Yeah, between the touchdown that got called back, the interceptions, like tried so hard to lose this game. But found a way to still win, which is a mark of a good team. And a lot of that was because of this defense and that goal line stand, which was, controversial, yes, but also kind of crazy still. I'm still giving them their flowers on that because that line really did not move. And guys knowing, I saw a lot of really good angles taken for tackles by both linebacking cores for both teams, where I was like, okay, like that, because there were some times last year where, especially I felt like with Paris's roster at times with some of the linebacker play, where I'd be like, that was a bad angle. Just because he's fast doesn't mean you can't tackle him.
Yeah.
And I felt like they were doing a really good job of like taking the right angles and getting to the guys. And Yeah, it really looks like their homegrowns have improved. It feels like, as well as the guys that they've brought in too.
I do want to mention real quickly, just based off the wide receiver point they were making. For Paris, their receivers, just their targets to catch ratios are really bad. So Austin Mitchell had 6 targets, only 2 catches. Hussein Dosso had 6 targets, only 3 catches. The only guy on their offense who was effective catching the ball was Hugo Takadem, who had 4 targets and 3 catches. Yeah. So that's got to improve. You can't have less than 50% catch complete percentage when you're getting targets like that, especially for Mitchell. Mitchell's supposed to be their guy, and they have a 33% catch percentage. Not ideal.
Not at all.
So definitely some rust knocked off this game, but I still feel pretty good about having them as the third team in the league. I mean, it's such a small league, so.
But
any last thoughts, gentlemen, before we dive into awards?
We got football back. We got week 1's in the books.
Feels
good. Go forward from here. But yeah, awards. Do you want to go unsung big dog to everyone's favorite?
Yeah, I think that'd be perfect because we were just talking about the Paris Musketeers, unsung hero. Give me just a second. Sorry, I sent it to y'all, and I did not remember the last name. This is great journalism here.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I butcher your name, my friend. Digon Gomez, number 4 linebacker for Paris, had 2 huge tackles down the stretch that basically saved the game. One on Garbers, he was under pressure, breaks out of the pocket, is running straight, and takes a beautiful angle. Gomez tackles him, gets him down at about the 1.5, and then on the tush push, basically, actually comes from around the pile, grabs Garbers by his leg while the play is still live, and just like sits on his ass. And it was like just enough to keep Garbers away from like us being able to see whether or not if he broke the plane. But it was just a very heads up play of like, pull him backwards. Don't try to stand him up. Like pull him backwards. And so that play alone kind of saved Paris the game on that. So shout out the boy.
Shout out the boy. Yeah. But I didn't hear his name or number called throughout the rest of the game. And then that final 2 minutes, 2 plays is all you need, right?
Hey, look, and that's why he's unsung. You know, it doesn't have to be a perfect performance, but when it matters, when it wins a game, you get the award, you know?
You get the award.
It's not necessarily about domination, but the next award, the Big Dog Award, is about domination.
Big Dog. This is actually not even planned. I just grabbed this out of my closet, but Big Dog, Russell Tabor, 6 total touchdowns, 374 total yards, a perfect passer rating of 158.3. Why it's still 158.3, I don't know, but that's besides the point. But yeah, it was definitely Tabor time in Munich on Sunday. And like we said before, never stopped. Punter never had to take the field.
And I think it's worth adding into the award itself. Did also have the best touchdown celly of the weekend. I do think that is, 100%. You know, if you go have numbers like that and then have the celly.
Yeah, hitting the grocery celly is that's just hard.
Crazy. Oh man. All right. Well, I think the most coveted award out of the bunch is always the Mr. Fiasco Award. This one actually was up for a decent amount of debate between us. It felt like the other ones we kind of all just agreed on. This one actually took a bit of a poll from all of your favorite, I almost said ELF, European American football analysts from across the board. So, Mr. Fiasco, I'm going to toss this one to Tanner because Tanner's the one who really advocated for this one.
Yeah, so what's it called? It was we actually came down between 3 DBs for this award just because we saw a lot of DBs get burnt this weekend. We had 2 from Prague. I'm not going to mention their names. And then 1 from Tirol, who I'm also not going to mention his name because, again, we determined we can't give the whole Tirol DB room the award, even though they were terrible today.
Or the whole Prague DB room.
And we also decided not to give it to a coach. We're trying to be better about giving it to players and not coaches.
Yep, exactly. So it really came down to who had the most probably embarrassing play or the most, I don't know, just detrimental play. And that was Tyrus Golford Jr. with the Prague Lions, who had a missed tackle on a screen that was not what you want to see. Not what you want to see at all.
There was a defender. He got around the defender, and then it was just downhill. And then he got beat on a couple deep throws. Mm-hmm. From a couple other insiders, he was just getting manhandled on blocks. Like was not prepared.
And it's unfortunate because, again, when you spend the slot, when you put in the capital for a DB like that for the Prague Lions, it sucks to look at it and be like, he just was not up to snuff to defend against the Nordic team. And again, it's a great Nordic team, but you would hope that you spend 2 A slots on DB. You would hope that, they would come out to play and come out to, make a difference in this game.
Yeah,
sure. They did make a difference, but not in the way you'd want them to make a difference.
Yeah.
Guilford had a good year last year, though. We'll see how he does going forward. But man, what a bad week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can always go no way to go down from here, right?
Yeah.
Unless he wins it again next week.
Oh, back to back. That'd be the first.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
That'd be bad. We would have to intervene politically somehow.
Intervene. Enact the Centurion's rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, not the Cologne rule.
Not the Cologne rule. Oh man. Yeah.
I hope we don't have anything like that this year.
I'm hoping that maybe this is a wake up call for Prague just in general, because it was hard to at least go through those highlights because there was a lot of space on some of those catches where it was just like you weren't even in the same ballpark.
No, it was bad.
That's a tough one, but those are the awards for the week. The not so much sought after Mr. Fiasco Award, Unsung Hero, and then Big Dog.
You think Hennessy's just kind of breathing a sigh of relief? Can't happen to me anymore.
I mean, if we're being honest, our boy Zach is probably the one breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah,
because
that
was going to be my non-coach pick.
Yeah, don't let us leak our text thread because he was definitely in conversation in that first half of like, Zach might be it.
Yeah,
but he turned it on. He saved himself.
Slash Gomez also saved him one too.
Yeah.
And Prague and Tirol.
Yeah. Well, again, we can't give it to whole units though. So I will give it to it was a pretty rough performance, especially with that pick 6. Now, granted, that wasn't entirely his fault. That was a very just impressive defensive play.
Yep.
Yeah.
But still.
So now on to pick'ems.
Yes.
4 games this week, 2 from the EFA and 2 from the AFLE.
Yeah, so let me make sure that I'm looking at these correctly.
Yeah, we'll start with the EFA.
Yeah, since we've been talking about them, we have Raiders Tirol at the Nordic Storm.
Yes, and if you're like Jordan, haven't joined the EPFR Pick'ems yet, go do that because that's.
Hey, shout out our boy Elfpedia. Okay, whenever the merger finally does happen and the league comes to their senses, this is the first person you need to hire.
Yes. Shout out.
Because everything will be so much better if you do, I promise.
Yeah. It literally says on the bottom, a non-commercial fan project.
And he is so much better at all of this and has better ideas than everyone that's getting paid right now.
Yeah. But all right. Raiders Tirol versus Munich. Over under 44.5. Tanner, you start. What do you got?
Yeah, so it wasn't pretty against Munich. I don't think it's going to be pretty against Nordic. over's going to happen, and unfortunately, I think the over's going to happen because Nordic's probably going to hit 40 points.
And predicted margin 1-3, 4-8, 9-16, or 17 plus.
I think Raiders Tirol is going to lose by more than 2 touchdowns, unfortunately.
So you're taking 9-16 or 17 plus?
Oh, 17 plus, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be pretty. I expect them to lose of 3 to 4 touchdowns, most likely. If I had to say a final score for this game, I'm going to go with like 48 to 21.
Okay.
24. Let's do 48 to 24. Let's give them a field goal.
Okay. All right, Jordan.
I don't hate that. I'm gonna let it be a little closer. I could see a little bit of like a garbage time situation. I don't think it's going to be much of a game early on. Unfortunately, I do think that this Nordic team is just overpowered. But I'm gonna go with 40 to 28 with the idea that maybe there's some late touchdowns by Tirol.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going Munich. We're not being different here. We got called out last week about not being different, but it is what it is.
Munich or Nordic? Nordic?
Nordic. What did I say?
You said Munich.
Oh, Nordic. My bad.
You're good.
Same team.
Munich's winning their bye week. It's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Wild.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I'm going Nordic. Not being anything different, but I'm probably going to say they'll probably win by like 21. So taking the over in 17 plus.
Do I name one? Okay, so I am the only one giving Raiders Tirol any level of respect.
And that's
I want that
year when the Raiders just ghosted you for months.
I know they did ghost me for months. Yeah. Shout out that social media team. I hope that this is a different social media team that they have now. I'm sure it probably is at this point.
It's got to be. I hope so, at least for their sake.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Because I tried so hard to be a fan, but here we are.
Shout out Kiki.
Shout out. Yeah. Second
Prague.
game on the docket. Prague Lions go out to Paris in what might be another rough go.
I'm going Paris. I said this before. I think this is. I said it with the Raiders though. I like to see Paris and Prague now before Paris turns it on, because I think this. Yeah, Paris's defense is still good, but I don't think the Nordic Storm good. So Prague should be able to be a little bit more competitive, and I say that now. But the over/under is still set at 44.5 on this game. I'm taking the over.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a kind of a shootout, even though with the defense a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I have Paris at that winning that 9-16 margin. But towards the lower end, I think it's going to be like a 10-point game, like 35-25 somehow.
Okay. So I actually agree with you pretty much everything, but I'm actually going to take the under. I think we're still going to see some rust from Paris. I think Prague is going to have a very difficult time moving the ball here. So I think it's going to be, for the majority of this game, probably something like 10-0 or 13-3 for the majority of the game. And we might see a little bit of scoring happening in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to take like Paris 20-10.
Okay. Jordan?
I don't know. I understand that they're highlights, and so it is like the best of the best and the worst of the worst, like over the course of the game. But the 9-minute YouTube video that I saw, I don't have faith enough in Prague's DBs for this not to be the, week 2 and Magic Zach and the rest of the guys figured out. Like I can so see that. I think that this is going to be a belt to ass affair as well, unfortunately. I do think that the Prague offense is going to come out hot. I do see them putting up more points than they did last week. I can see some trick plays and some pre-snap motion and all that fun stuff happening beforehand. But yeah, I just really was not impressed by the DB play. And I'm just worried that, really, and it wasn't just the DBs either, like just the defense in general. I can just see Zach doing Zach things and making a lot of shit happen out of thin air. And, maybe this is a little bit more of a wake-up game for Austin Mitchell as well, and he figures it out, especially against this DB room. I can see him figuring it out.
And so with the pick'ems, everyone, each week you get one joker to throw in a game to basically double your points.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you throwing your joker this week? You throwing on the Nordic game or the Paris game?
I'm gonna throw it on the Paris game.
Really?
Yeah.
You're more confident on your predictions of Paris than you are Nordic versus Tirol.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Tanner?
I'm more confident in Nordic. I think Nordic's going to beat the shit out of the Raiders Tirol. I don't think it's going to be very close. I mean, I mean, I didn't have much more confidence. I really think like Nordic and Tirol and Prague are the two worst teams, and I think with how ugly it was against Prague, I don't think Tirol's that much better. I think it's going to be just as ugly.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good test for Krajewski.
I think so too. If he does well, that'd be awesome. But I don't see an avenue for the Tirol offense to create problems for that Nordic defense.
No, yeah, it should be a like Jordan said, a belt to ass. But that sums up EFA. Now to the other new league. Is this the dad or the mom? Probably the mom, right?
Who knows, man?
The divorce.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you think of Vienna,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about week one. Hopefully, Jordan comes back before we end. But starting off with a very interesting matchup. When you get to choose your own schedule in a brand new league, week one, you think you'd start off with a bang, right? Maybe not. The AFLE decided to go Berlin at Vienna, the super team of Vienna, on Saturday. I think we're all in agreement. I don't think there's much discussion about this, that Vienna is going to dog walk Berlin if they allow them, from the rumors that we have heard. I got a message from the Vienna quarterback, Mr. Ben Holmes, the other day, and he said he was just laughing at his 12 personnel, basically, like their 12 personnel offense. He's like, it's just stupid. And I agree. It's going to be very good. And it's like, how do you guard that 12 personnel? I don't know.
Dude, yeah, I don't know how to predict this game because I don't know what they're going to implement. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they actually going to let Vienna play? Because if they let Vienna play, this shit's going to be 70-3. Like, honestly, like it's gonna be disgusting. It's gonna be a horrific blowout. Berlin doesn't even have a freaking full roster, man. Like, let's take a look. How many people are on the Berlin roster? There's 37 people on the roster.
Berlin was bad last year, and they only got worse. And Vienna was really good last year and only got a lot better.
Like, how am I supposed to take a team seriously when they play on what, Saturday?
Yes.
They're playing on Saturday. They got 37 players on their team.
Announced. They could have a full roster.
Why do I only know that they got 37 players 4 days before they start playing?
Yeah, they should have.
What are we doing here? Like,
even if they have the players, that doesn't mean that they've been going through walkthroughs and practice and all that other shit.
Obviously, don't feel confident in them because I don't know who they are. Like, there's 3 days till kickoff, or 4 days.
Yeah.
Where have they been practicing?
Who?
Berlin.
I don't know.
Have they been practicing? I feel like I've seen plenty of pictures of like Vienna practicing.
Yeah. They have their own little field.
All the EFA teams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they actually play this straight and it's actually there's no funny business going on the outside where there's any rules or anything like that, Berlin's going to get fucking eviscerated. Like, it's not even going to be close. It's going to be like a 70-point blowout. But if there is going to be some stupid rule, then yeah, I guess Vienna will win by 4 touchdowns and they'll call it there,
Yeah.
Like, is there going to be a mercy rule for this league? Because maybe that's what they need to do.
Or do they let Berlin, like, get 2 touchdowns right before half to kind of keep it close.
I'm gonna be so pissed. Well, one, if this league's got a goddamn paywall and I gotta pay money to watch all of Vienna's backups go out there to play in the second quarter, call it wraps. We're good. I'm not watching the rest of this league.
You don't have to pay for it in Germany. They announced that. By the time people listen to this episode, they said they're announcing on Wednesday the streaming partnership or something.
Well, guess who doesn't fucking live in Germany?
Yeah, us. Also, why is it 2-3 days before kickoff that we know where we can even watch?
Yeah.
Also, most of our friends that we talk to that are insiders don't live in Germany either.
Yeah.
Davide doesn't, Matt doesn't, Alex doesn't, none
AJ
of us
doesn't, Chris doesn't, yeah.
None of us are gonna be able to watch this freaking game unless we pay for it.
They don't want us to watch the game because
no shit they don't want to, because they don't have fucking 52 players on Berlin yet. Are you kidding me? There we go. I can see that Saturday.
But you're taking Berlin or Vienna? Let's just pick them now. You taking Berlin or Vienna?
Dude, Vienna's plane could blow up, and I'm taking Vienna. All right.
They don't have to get on a plane.
Bro, their U19 team could play, and I'm taking Vienna.
Yeah.
Bro.
Give it the AFL team. Give them a shot.
I would. Yeah.
Final score predictions. Tanner.
70-3.
Jordan.
I don't know if Berlin can make a field goal. I don't know who their kicker is. Do they have a kicker? They do.
Probably Jacob Sullivan. Jordan?
I'll do 56-3.
I'll do 47-13.
Wow. That is
hey, way to show him some respect.
All right. At least there's. Well, I still don't know how we're going to talk about this game, but
no, we don't know. We do not know. And this is what's kind of fun about this league is because we literally know nothing. It's like going back to year 1 of 4th down fiasco where we went in and we're like, who the heck are these teams?
It'll be nice next week whenever we can actually be like, oh, this is what we saw. But now I'm just
only for 4 of the teams though.
Well, here's the thing with
4
London.
4 bye weeks on week 1.
Is London only has 11 players
announced.
They
also their jerseys are currently being produced. They haven't shipped their jerseys yet, but that's the whole thing.
I mean, I'm just saying from the London roster I can look at, they don't have a wide receiver. So
but
they don't have 5 O linemen.
So
they don't have a starting line.
Panthers at London.
Brother, they don't have any wide receivers. There's not 5 O linemen. They don't have defensive backs yet. They don't have a tight end.
Okay, the thing though with the Warriors, they're an existing team.
Yeah, so they're just going to probably carry over the roster that they have and have a couple of
carry over the roster, bring in imports, and
yeah.
So it's not like they're starting from scratch like the Lights for the Red Lions and the Rams.
Yeah. So it really is a question of are there homegrowns competitive in comparison to the homegrowns of these other teams? Because you have to assume that the A's will be fine.
Yes.
Right.
Quarterback apparently is not the best, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, he's the old guy, right? I shouldn't say old.
No, he's not the old guy. He's only like that's the Rams quarterback.
I get so confused with these fake ass teams, bro.
Well, unfortunately for the Warriors, they don't have any E imports yet. They got 2 A's. They got an A O lineman and they got an A QB.
Nice. Wait, an O lineman?
They got an A-O lineman.
That's bold.
Christoph Atkinson.
That's bold. I hope that pays off for them. Oh, they probably use a freaking I. I forgot about the I roll. And they get 9 E's too. So they don't even who cares if they waste an A?
Well, here's the unfortunate part is they played 4 days. Where are the E imports?
Oh, at least they're in Europe. Easy to get them to London.
Take a train, it's fine.
They don't have an I import yet. They don't have an I import. They don't have any.
That's going to be a little tougher, especially if he comes from Japan. That's kind of a long time.
Yeah.
London's a big airport.
There's 4 days to go. Can someone fly from Japan to London in that time? You know, is he going
to? But we got
going to be cheap to take a train. You know,
we got DM today after we posted our power rankings. Shout out London. I think we all put them last. Maybe I put him second last. I don't remember.
They're gonna suck.
But we got DMs saying that the dude is basically betting and saying that London will be top 4 by the end of the year.
I mean, dude, when 4 of the teams don't exist, I mean, yeah, it's a good bet.
Yeah.
But he's on the inside. Like, he knows more than we know. So do we trust him? That's the question.
No, I don't.
Not yet.
I'm going to say
Honestly, I do think they could be top 4. Berlin sucks.
Yeah.
Alpine sucks. Red Lions and Paris might not even play.
Exist, yeah.
They might not even play. So, yeah, they could be top 4.
True.
They could be the best.
Alpine top 4, yeah.
And I mean, Wrocław, from what we know, is also not a very good team.
Their offense is going to be good. Their defense is going to be all right.
I don't think it's going to matter.
No.
Wrocław I know what Wrocław's roster is at this stage. I don't know what London's in. So
we're an hour and 5 minutes in. Panthers or London? And
Panthers.
Score prediction, please.
He said, "Put the fries in the bag, brother."
Yeah, I mean, I'll take Panthers over London, like 110 to like 10 or something. You know,
you're saying the Panthers are better than Vienna?
I'm saying London doesn't have they don't have a roster, man. London doesn't have a defensive back, man. I hope the Panthers can score 110 points if nobody's playing in the secondary. They're going to have to field goal block every single down.
I can't breathe.
110 might be freaking conservative from what I know, from the knowledge that I have of this team. It's probably going to be closer to 180.
Oh, dude, my eyes are watering.
I'll just say I'm crying.
Okay. We don't.
Jordan.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We greatly appreciate it. Danny, Tanner, and Jordan.
What, Danny? Do you got a rebuttal? Is London going to win this game? You think London's going to win? let me hear it. What's the argument for London winning this game?
I don't got it.
Yeah.
But we're going to feel real stupid when London goes out and just dog walks the Panthers.
I hope, dude. I mean, that's the best. That's the best case scenario. They're playing in London.
Yeah. They announced
have a
the
stadium
today. It actually looks like kind of a nice stadium.
What do you mean they announced the stadium today? They play on Sunday.
Yeah, so they announced the stadium today. It's not Sunday.
It's fucking ridiculous.
But the stadium looks kind of nice. I'll give it to them.
Well,
stadiums don't win championships.
Hopefully people show up to it. That's all I hope.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
AFC Wimbledon.
Aside from Pick'ems, I do want to just say real quick that the crowds turned out for the EFA games. I forgot to mention that earlier.
They did, yeah.
And just the viewership as a whole is like almost 500,000 on the YouTube live streams and highlights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They didn't announce separate broadcasting rights, but yeah,
super successful week 1 for the EFA. I mean, we got to give them a ton of props. Like a lot of fans and seats, a lot of people eyes on it. I thought that they got to watch some really good football too. Even though they got to watch 2 blowouts, I still think it was really well put together, especially for how much bullshit they had to deal with this last year. So
you guys are gonna hate it, but the score bug.
You and the fucking score bug, dude. Oh my god!
Did you notice the Frankfurt Paris game? There was no way to tell timeouts.
Yeah,
I didn't actually notice that. I'm not gonna lie, because I kept looking. I was like, "So, are there no timeouts?"
Yeah, it was like the quarter, and I texted Matt. I was like, "There's no timeouts." He's like, "You're right." He's like, "I will let them know." Like, thanks.
I will let them know. Honestly, it could have looked a lot worse.
No, yeah, it could have
looked a lot worse. Make sure to put the timeouts on the screen, though. That'd be useful.
Timeout. They did add it for the Nordic game, so they know. But the play clock is also not available.
Luckily, commentators during that game never stopped talking, so we knew how many timeouts they had. So,
yes,
they told us how many timeouts they had. So
they did multiple times.
Oh yeah.
They didn't know what down it was though. At the very end there, I don't know if you guys remember that. They didn't know what down it was.
No, they're like, it's third down. Now they're going to kick a field goal, and they're like, wait a minute, Paris has the ball.
Yeah.
Even though it was like we saw 3 plays of football before that, like
it's fine.
Right. Yeah. They just need different commentators. Honestly, we just need to suck it up and do it ourselves. It'll be great.
Yeah, they should just let us do it. We do great.
Shit show.
Dude, we should let us just commentate a game.
Let me commentate this. There's a Wrocław London game. Put me on the mic. Let me go over this game.
We'll sign up for that LCC or the LCC thing or whatever that the AFLE has, and maybe we can.
Mm-hmm. No, I think they want me on the mic for this game. I think it's going to go really well.
They want me on the mic.
Y'all, we're derailing.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Follow us at @4thdown_pod on Twitter and at 4thdown Fiasco on Instagram and TikTok. That's the other one. Cool. Yeah. Danny, Tanner, Jordan saying thanks for listening to season 3.
Hugs and kisses. Go London.